Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. It seems that the SNP have managed to convince somebody stupid enough to take the job to run for the SNP in the Rutherglen and Hamilton West by-election that's likely to be announced in the next few days. As soon as they hit that 10%, which will be probably about 4 hours after the opening of the petition. And so who is this poor benighted fool who's on a hiding to nothing that will undoubtedly waste all this time and effort in trying to convince the people of that good area to vote for her, even though it is unlikely that this will happen. I mean, it is absolutely assured, well, 99.99% assured, that it will be a Labour victory. Well, it is a lady called Katy Louden, and she was a big supporter, of course, of the cackling witch who's just been fired, Margaret Ferrier. Now, the problem she has, this is Katy Louden, is that she's going into a seat where the people are, by necessity, become jaded, I suppose, against the SNP, given that their last politician was so appallingly bad, breaking the rules, imposing rules on them that then she herself went on to break. And so, given that not just the greater, wider malaise within Scotland with the SNP due to the perceived criminalities and all the problems that they're having, but now in the local area you have this sort of pushback against them because of the local historical recent history of what's happened. So this woman has been sort of parachuted in, told go and stand or go do it. You're probably not going to win, but we need to put someone up. But it could be quite humiliating for her. If it isn't sort of a close run thing, she could be seen as, oh, she's not a very good candidate, is she? And it could actually scupper her entire political career. Which wouldn't be a bad thing, obviously, being SNP. But we'll take a look at this, see what's happening, see who this lady is, see what she's going to be doing. And we'll have a think about how bad this could actually end up for the SNP. And I think it's going to be pretty damn bad. Anyway, here goes. So, SNP candidate has been selected for the Rutherglen and Hamilton West by-election. When that will happen is yet to be announced, but I think very shortly, should we say, very shortly after the petition is opened, that 10% will be hit. Could even be on the same day. Both Labour and the Tories up there both say they've got their supporters out, and they've both independently reached the 10% level. So I think it's almost assured that within 1 day, possibly two, no longer. I'd suggest no longer than 2 days, they'll have their 10%, and that'll be enough to kickstart the by-election. But anyway, the SNP has selected its candidate for a possible by-election in Rutherglen and Hamilton West. Katy Louden, the councillor who will lose the election in South Lanarkshire, broke the news of her selection in a post this afternoon. She says, I'm delighted to be confirmed as the SNP's candidate for the potential by-election in Rutherglen and Hamilton West, and look forward to campaigning alongside our brilliant activists to return an SNP MP for the area. No, that won't happen. That absolutely won't happen. That is going to be a Labour seat. You can almost taste it. You know, the bitterness, the anger, the Marxism in your mouth. Anyway, people across the constituency deserve to have a strong MP committed to building a better future for them, their family and their community. And that's why they're not going to vote for the SNP. And that is what they will get, she said, by voting for me and the SNP. But she lies, you know. Anyway, she said, with the limited powers at our disposal, the SNP is taking steps to improve the lives of people across Scotland and mitigate the worst of Tory rule. What? You've had 16 years. Have you seen the damage the SNP has done? This isn't anything to do with Tory rule. Everything in Scotland that's gone wrong is entirely SNP. The Tories of Westminster don't control your NHS or your legal system or your health service or your social care or your transport. All those things that have fallen apart because of the SNP and their intransigence and stupidity. Don't be blaming everything on Westminster. Anyway, she said families are being continued to be let down by a Westminster system with two right-wing pro-Brexit parties at its centre. It's got two left-wing parties because you've got the Labour Party and then you've got the Blue Labour Party. There's no real Conservatives anymore. That woman's a moron. And I suppose everyone looks to the right when you're as far left as the SNP. You know, it's all relative, I suppose. But anyway, she says the SNP is the only party offering a positive vision for a fairer, greener, wealthier future. This is a laugh. The SNP are proposing ultimately to close down the oil fields, and they're talking about a wealthier future. These people are not living in the same world as you or I. They are living in cloud fucking cuckoo land. A statement came out as the details of a recall petition were published on the South Lanarkshire Council website. They're having another election in the North Lanarkshire Council, aren't they? Because of the touchy-feeliness of the previous leader, who is undergoing police investigation now because of more than just a little bit of touchy-feelies. And other touchy-feelies with many, many people. And also a bit of grooming going on. So Lanarkshire, North and South, are both in a bit of a state. Anyway, the petition will open on June the 20th and will close on July the 31st. It will probably close on June the 21st. If 10% of the electorate in the constituency sign it, 8,113 voters, Miss Ferrier will be removed as the MP and a by-election called this autumn. 8,113 voters, I think that can be done within 24 hours. If both Labour and the Tories both get their act together and organise it, they could be closing that petition possibly on June the 20th. Certainly by June the 21st. So you can have it done before the longest day. A by-election is seen as a major test for First Minister and SNP leader Humza Yousaf. Well, he's hardly a leader, is he? He's the SNP's nominated spokesperson on matters, but he's not a leader. A leader would have fired the Greens. Anyway, for Mr Yousaf, it will be his first electoral test since becoming First Minister, and it may take place while a police investigation continues into his party on several fronts, because now you're getting the who knew what about the touchy-feelies from your other man, which I said goes all the way up to Murrell. Mr Sawa, on the other hand, the result may reflect whether his party is able to win back voters it lost to the SNP in the aftermath of the independence referendum in 2014. I think Labour are assured of a victory in this particular constituency. Scottish Labour has selected the modern studies teacher Michael Shanks as a by-election candidate and believes it can win the constituency the party last held in 2017. I think it's undoubtedly will. It's I've said this all along that if Labour don't win that seat, I'll eat my hat, quite literally. Miss Ferrier won the seat for the SNP in the 2019 general election with a 5,230 majority, and she's now an independent MP after losing the SNP whip after she broke the COVID rules. It basically only takes a 2.5% swing. Isn't a lot. Earlier this week, MPs voted to suspend her from the Commons for 30 days. We've covered this in detail. I'm not going along and regurgitating what we've already covered. So yeah, she's out. That 10% will be reached so quickly it will make your head spin. She'll be out. They'll have the by-election. It's a Labour seat. It will be a seat down for Humza Yousaf. Pressure on him to start looking around for another job. Anyway, let's round off and come up. Now, the way these things happen is Katy Louden will have been approached and said, look, go and stand here. You know you're not going to win. You're going to fight the campaign. It'll give you a bit of campaigning experience at an MP level. Go and fight this. You'll lose, but we'll try and get you in, on the reshuffle somewhere. We'll get you into a little safer seat next time there's an election. And that's generally what happens. They have to climb up the greasy pole to become sort of more experienced until they get there. And then they grip on with dear life. So that's undoubtedly what's happened, because she must know, in her heart of hearts, she must know she hasn't got a Scooby-Doo. She's not going to win this election. It's going to be Labour. But she's got to fight the good fight in her eyes. But yeah, it's more money. They'll have to waste money. They'll have to do the leaflet in pay and this, that and the other. It's money coming out of the SNP's coffers. Money they can ill afford. As I did a video yesterday, they've only earned £4,000 from donations in the first 3 months of this year. And that was from a dead person. Nobody's given them any money. They'll soon be gone. So it could actually be the last election campaign the SNP fight. That's how serious their money situation is. You've got to hope, haven't you? Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you like what you're seeing here on the channel, please do hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. Please do, if you are a regular viewer and you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. We're getting close to that 5,000 magic figure, and it would be super to get there, hopefully, before this election. And goodbye.